Well, hi there, and welcome to the break room. Yes, you saw that title, right? Embracing me time as a multi passionate nurse. And I just, have to chuckle because if you've been around any time, there's a song that came to mind as I was preparing for our time together in the break room tonight. So the song, listen, say it with me, is Heather Headley, Me Time. So we're going to get into that, the lyrics, and more on embracing me time as a multi passionate nurse. So I'm so glad that you're here and welcome to the break room. This is your self care safe space so that you can escape from your day to day and you can come in here and be recharged, refreshed, and renewed. And so then you can return to your task at hand. And I am Deetra Dennis. I am the self-care coach for nurses. And what I do is I empower multi-passionate nurses to prioritize the care of their most valuable patient. Yes, you are your most valuable patient. You are the MVP so that you can show up as the best version of yourself and impact the well-being of those connected to you. So again, welcome. And before we get into embracing me time as a multi-passionate nurse, just want to go over a few, we have to do this, our little housekeeping details. So thank you again for tuning in. So whether you're viewing on YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn, thank you so much for tuning in. Now on YouTube, just want to share or invite you to subscribe to the channel. And if you will click on the notification bell, you will be able to receive alerts when I post a video or when I go live or when I post in the community. And for everybody, I would love for you to like the video and share it with others. And this is a dialogue. This is the break room. You know how we are in the break room. We, sometimes we may break bread and have conversations. So that's what this is, to have our virtual conversation here in the break room. So feel free to go ahead and chat in the comment in the chat area so that we can have that virtual dialogue going on. So again, this is what we're talking about tonight, is embracing me time as a multi-passionate nurse. So back to Heather Headley. Now, you know the song Me Time, how it starts off is that all things being equal, I always put you first. How many of us put everyone else first and put ourselves last? Okay. So, and then what she goes into the chorus and says, I need some me time, not some you and some I, but some me time. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Embracing me time as a multi-passionate nurse. So, I always like to level set so that we are on the same page, singing from the same sheet of music, or right here with each other as it relates to what do we mean by me time. So me time, as defined by Collins Dictionary, is a time a person has, I'll say, for herself, right? In which to do something for herself and her enjoyment. Do you mind if I take it a little further? Because when I think about us as a multi-passionate nurse, it is spending time being present with yourself. What do you think about that? That to me is me time, because what happens, and this is not a luxury, it is necessary in order for you as an MVP to show up as the best version of yourself, right? So it is important for us to have me time. And going back to one of the videos, this is how we do it as a multi-passionate nurse. We kind of go in depth about what happens when we neglect self-care, or as we're talking today, me time, and I'll leave that for those that are on YouTube. I usually put, if I reference a video or something, I usually put it down in the description, so you have that link and not having to go through all the videos to figure out where it is. So that will be in the description on the YouTube channel for you. But one of the things I looked up, there was research done by a psychologist, and her name is Dr. Almuth, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her first name correctly, but McDowell is her last name. And so she found that people who experienced high quality, not necessarily high quantity, me time, enjoyed better work-life balance. And over here in the break room, we call it work-life harmony. They also had better well-being and was more engaged at work. And her research also, it suggested if people take time out to recharge their batteries. Listen, we're not the what's the name of the is it Ever Ready? Anyway, drop it in. I don't know why it's escaping me now, but the Energizer. That's it. The Energizer Bunny. We're not the Energizer Bunny, so we do need to recharge our batteries. Okay, and then they also experience the time taken with high quality me time. The benefits is that they have psychological well-being, they have better relationships, and again, they're more productive at work, perform better at work. And I have to think about it again when I'm reading those things. I have to think about us as multi-passionate nurses. What would that look like for us? And so for us, what me time does is it allows us to live at our optimal well-being, so that again we can show up as the best version of ourselves for our family, our friends, our community, our faith, our church family. But the other part is that we're able to serve at the highest level, serve from our heart at the highest level. So I know if you're like me, and you're over here, and I'm sure you like me, it is so important for me when I show up that I'm serving at the highest level, giving my best with who is in front of me, right? Whoever I'm serving. And so some examples of what she called the high quality me time is very simple and very easy to do, and doesn't take all day. It can take as a minimum of 5 minutes. Really, this is really being able to recharge. If that's taking a deep breath, if that's meditation, if it's going outside to take a walk, or just to stand in the sun, journaling, many other things, and I would love to hear in the chat, what are some things that you do for me time? Taking a warm bath, that is one to, just relax and wash off the day, right? Sitting in that warm bath is very relaxing. But also, again, that's me time. How do you recharge? I would love to hear in the chat. How do you recharge? So read the reasons. Why is it important to embrace me time as a multi-passionate nurse? I know many times, and we talked about this last week about the all or nothing. We feel like if it's not perfect, we're not going to do it. But this is why. Listen, it is so important to do it. So, number one, it promotes self-love. That's a good one, isn't it? It promotes self-love. So loving your neighbor as you love yourself. So it means you got to love you first before you can love your neighbor, right? And so we also talked about this in First Things First, about prioritizing self-care. And I'll leave the link again to that video in the description. But first things first. And again, going back to what Heather Headley said, all things being equal, I always put you first, but we're going to put first things first. We're going to put us first so that we can show up as the best version of ourselves. So that's number one. It promotes self-love. A second reason is it allows us, it allows you to get to know yourself better. And I'll say us. It allows us to get to know ourselves better. Listen, I know in my experience in the past that, I was so focused on serving, be it serving in my career, be it serving in my community, be it serving with those connected to me, be it my family, my friends, my church family. Those things, I was serving so much that I lost myself, lost my identity in that. So when I did make the shift and changed my perspective on things and had the me time, I was able to, really reconnect with myself and was able to discover or rediscover what really made me happy and fulfilled. So that is what the reason why me time is so important, because we can be so busy doing things just out of routine or going through the motion. Is it really something that brings you fulfillment? So again, it allows you to get to know yourself better. So that is a second reason to embrace me time as a multi-passionate nurse. Now, lastly, listen, this one is probably should have been the first one, but either way, here it is. It's an investment in your well-being. Aren't you worth the investment? Type yes in the chat if you agree that yes, you are worth the investment. So when you do that, so again, let's change the way we think of me time. That is, I got to do it. No, you get to do it, and you do it with joy that you're investing in something that's worth it, something that's valuable. Because remember, you are the MVP. And so what happens is when you invest in yourself again, it's not a luxury, it's a necessity. And your health and well-being is the greatest return on investment. What do you think? I would love to hear in the chat what you think about that. All right, so as a recap, the 3 reasons we are to embrace me time as a multi-passionate nurse. Number 1, it promotes self-love. Number 2, it allows you to get to know yourself better. And number 3, it's an investment in your well-being. And again, you are worth all 3. So go ahead and enjoy some me time. So I would love to hear in the chat, what are your favorite me time activities? And when was the last time that you had me time? I would love to know in the chat. So as a reminder, first of all, I know that you found values in this video. So I would love to hear what jewels did you receive, or takeaways that you received from our time together today. And as a reminder to like the video, share with someone who you feel could benefit from the things that we talked about today. So, I will always end with a good quote for us. So here it is. Me time is where you can awaken your inner peace and tune in with your body and soul. All right, so until next week, I would love for you to embrace some me time, and I would love to hear about it. All right, until next